Hi and welcome to another one of my vintage HiFi videos. I've kind of squeezed in here, you may just be able to see a receiver down the bottom here, but anyway I will pan back and level it out with the camera. Today's all about low wattage receivers and how loud, what kind of volume they are. What's come up, while I'm doing this video, and I'm doing it really quickly, so do excuse the room. We're doing a few things down at the moment and I've had to kind of cram it all into one end of the room, a few chairs in the way and whatever, but it's all down here at the moment. Still doing things around the house, but anyway I've crammed it in down here. I just want to do a quick video because the neighbours are out, so I can crank it up without disturbing anyone. That's the idea of it anyway. So quickly, there was a question from my mate. He's looking to buy some vintage stuff. Again, don't want to spend a lot of money like most people, not that some people do, they spend fortunes, but he wants to keep it as low as possible. We don't want to go and buy out anything new. He likes to look at the old vintage stuff as well, a bit like most people I suppose, retro kind of look. And he still wants a good sound, for his money he's going to pay. Obviously, the more money you pay, the bigger receiver and better speakers, you're going to get a better sound. But it's still going to be better than maybe something you're going to buy on all in, kind of a stack system or something you buy off of Amazon these days for 250 quid or something. It's still probably going to be better than that, rather than a flat kind of sound. You're still going to get the oomph and a different kind of sound to that. So if I just turn this down actually, because that's it. So what I've dug out here. And the only reason these two have been dug out is because I just wanted to kind of, not prove a point, but just give you a demonstration really, is that these are just a 7 and 8 watt off the top of my head receivers. That's all they give out, 7 or 8 watts. I'll put a little description underneath to verify that. These are the lowest two I've got, so these are the reason that I chose these two. If I could have chosen another two, I would have done maybe. But anyway, these are the two. They're both Pioneer. One is an SX 300. And the other one is an SX 440, the bottom one, which you probably can't see at the moment, but anyway, I'll pan out and you'll see what it is. These are the Wolfdale Delta 70s. I've chosen these speakers because they're not a dear speaker, they're 50 quid, thereabouts. And they're not bad, they're not brilliant, don't get me wrong, but they're not a bad speaker for the money, you know what I mean? You could do worse, that's for certain. So just a general feel. It's not really about quality today, I don't think. It's more about, how loud it's going to be, I suppose, in the room, to fill up his room. What I will do is I'm going to push the camera back about 3 metres away from the speakers diagonally. That's maybe where you're going to be. You may be 4 metres away in a room this size, but 3 metres I suppose is near enough, right, I think. And I can't really go back a lot further because I've got a load of stuff behind the camera anyway. So there's going to be 3 metres away, give you an idea where it is. I'm going to put the amp on number 4. I may crank it up to number 5 at some stage, I may not, but 4 is like a mediocre volume, I suppose, like in the medium kind of range, and it's just a tad lower than medium maybe, just to give you an idea of really how loud it's going to go in that room. Just a quick story on loudness. I just want to bring this up, so, going through life, you sometimes don't forget things. And years ago I used to do an electronics course at college. It was only 1 day a week while I was at school, many years ago obviously, and it turned out to be a bit of a farce, to be honest with you, because a load of kids mucking about, and that's a shame really. I would have heard it more days and more serious, but anyway, some things stick in your mind. And I remember we was in a big auditorium or whatever they called, and the teachers, come on stage and whatever, and he was talking about this, that and the other, and he went on to wattage and speakers and other bits and pieces, talking about general electronics and whatever, and he said, I can fill this room up with 1 watt, just using 1 watt. And being a kid then, back then I was like buying the bottom end HiFi still, probably 15, 20 watts, thinking, oh well, I want to save up my money and get the next amp, it's 25 watts or 30 watts, it's going to be even louder and better and whatever. And you think, well, 1 watt, and he's kind of explaining like, 1 watt, decent set of, sensitive set of speakers, big speakers, it'd fill up the room with just 1 watt. So yeah, it gets you thinking. And like I say, these are just 7. Obviously, they don't make these for nothing. They wouldn't bring out a 7 watt receiver if it was no good, like, with me. Obviously meant for smaller rooms, maybe, like, that was the idea behind it, maybe bedrooms and small little rooms. And this is, compared with some people, this is still a small room, 7 metres by 3.5. America and other places around the world, maybe, and bigger houses in the UK even, they've got bigger rooms than this, but this is a fairly sized room, I suppose, average kind of size room. So yeah, this is, like I say, pretty similar room to what he's got. So he just wanted to know how loud it's going to be, and I thought, well, that's a good idea. I'll do a little video with the normal track I'm doing, that little testing track I'm doing at the moment called Funky Disco, I think it's called. So I'm going to play that. I'm going to start it off with the bottom one. This is one I've got plugged in, you probably can't see it at the moment, but I'm going to pan out. I'm going to start off the bottom one, which is the Pioneer SX 440. I have it on number 4. Now what I have done though, I will tell you what I'm doing. I've left the treble as it is on this amp, but this amp's a little bit on the bassy side, and these speakers are a little bit on the bassy side. So I'm just going to knock the bass down just one notch, that's all, just one notch, just to take the edge off of it, and go from there. So right, okay, without any further to do, I'm going to do the bottom one first to 440, and I'll come back and then we'll go on to the next one. So anyway, just a small break here, and off we go. Okay, welcome back. Now I'm going to swap over receivers. Now, I don't know how it's coming across on this camera. The microphones are facing upwards, which is probably a little bit of a disadvantage. Not top of the range camera or anything. They're not really made for, you know, listening to HiFi on, but hopefully you're getting it's coming across. Maybe you're losing a bit of the quality, and that the quality's still standing okay to me, even though it cranked it up a bit. It maybe, you know, lost a little bit of its quality as the volume went up, but it was still okay. Yeah, like I say, it's, you know, I mean, I'm trying to give the, you know, how loud. For a lot of people ask how loud is it. You know, it seems to be their, you know, maybe one of their top things. How loud is it going to be? Obviously, like with a better, you know, better amps, higher wattage, you can crank up the volume and maybe not lose. You know, you're not going to lose so much of the quality. And even some of them, not that I've had them, you know, recently, but I've been doing a lot of reading on, you know, through the internet and whatever. And a lot of people saying some of these amps don't actually kick in. The quality don't come in on these higher powered amps until you start cranking the volumes up. I don't know how true it is, but a lot of people seem to say that, so maybe it is true. When I get a bigger amp, bigger wattage, you know, maybe a 50 watt, 40 watt amp, receiver, etc., I can give it a go. They're saying, you know, the quality starts kicking in as the volume goes up. Where these ones, you know, I'm finding these on low volumes sound really nice. Some of these really sweet, really nice, and maybe as you know, you're cranking through the volume, the quality's just going a little bit, like, you know, I mean, it's just losing a bit of the quality. Maybe, you know, something to do with the amp, maybe something to do, like I say, these are not dear speakers, these are cheap speakers anyway. Still Wolfdales, I mean, you know, Wolfdales are like, I suppose, a middle of the road speaker, would you say? Most of Wolfdales, I suppose, you know, compared with the top end ones. Anyway, you know, debatable, I suppose. Some people really rate them high, and some people, you know, still say they're rubbish, so to speak. But anyway, you know, for the money, these are okay. Like I say, I paid £50, and I'm happy enough with them. Obviously, you can get better speakers, but you can obviously get a lot worse. Yeah, still rate them, you know, okay, like them speakers. Like, I'll give them a 7, and I still think they're fine. Yes, that's why I'm doing a test here, kind of giving you that kind of price bracket as well. These receivers, by the way, just quickly on the receivers. This SX 300 probably pick up for about £70–80 on eBay, I would have thought, and pretty much the same as this bottom one. They're probably about £80, so they're probably about £80 a pair, something like that. Right, okay then, so what we're going to do, we're going to put the same track on again. Like I say, I'm going to have this on -1 to be fair. The treble dead on as normal. I'm going to put it on number 4 to start off with, and sneak in and turn it up to number 5 like I did with the last track. So here we go. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Got kind of come across of how loud they can go, these amplifiers, you know, for 7 watts. That was just halfway. I don't think you want to crank it up any more than halfway. That's for certain. Maybe just one more, number 6, maybe. But there you go. I think that's loud enough. Our speakers are rattling about and everything. So yeah, it come across quite loud to me. Hope it does with you. And now, my mate, I've had given my mate a demo of. Not so much as this setup. I've given him a demo. I've just brought one of them down actually, and just showed him what 7 watts can do. And he'll probably look at this video again anyway. He looks at all my videos. At least I've got one viewer. Yeah, so yeah, he's looking around now for something at 10, 15 watts, that kind of, you know, 10, 12, 15 watts. He's not too scared because he knows he can buy a receiver or an amplifier. I think he's actually looking for a receiver. And it's not going to cost him a fortune. He can quite easily pick up for one for £70, somewhere around that bracket, I would have thought. And that'll get him off and running. So there you go. Yeah, just maybe for people, you know, not a lot of money maybe, or looking for the bottom end. Obviously these fit nicely in a bedroom, a small room, but still I think, you know, you're still going to get plenty of enjoyment in a medium-sized room maybe like this. You know, a reasonable volume. I don't think you really need it to be a number 5. I don't think you're going to sit there listening to music at number 5 all day like that, that's for certain. I think, but maybe number 4 you will, that kind of volume level, number 4. And these are quite adequate, adequate, something like that anyway, to do you know, do you justice and you know, get some enjoyment out of your system. So anyway, I'll say thanks for watching. I will come up with I will put another video up. Shall I say? I've got myself a pair of Delta, only because these are cheap. I'm not a person for sticking for brands. Also, just add this at the end of the video. I will reiterate it in another video as well. Whatever sounds good sounds good. If Mickey Mouse makes it, or JVC, or Bloomingdale, whoever makes it, as long as it sounds good to me and it's vintage, you know, that's the one I like. You know, I've got no loyalty to any brands. It's just I bought another pair of Wolfdales because, you know, like I say, these didn't sound so bad to be honest. When I see a pair of Delta 90.2s, I think they are, I just wondered how different they would sound to the 70. So I'm going to do a little video of just a comparison of sound there, what I think of them speakers as well. Only because they're another £50 pair of speakers, another cheap pair of speakers basically. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you all soon.